Welcome to episode 153 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I am Jack.
And goodness gracious me.
Too warm. It's now called the Eldritch? The Eldritch Hot Blast.
I haven't started the timer. Go on, Jack. Look at them. Go on, give them a... Thank you. Sorry.
The Eldritch Sweat Blast.
Yeah. Oh, goodness gracious me.
The Eldritch Boil Cast.
Yeah. No. It's so warm. So, the lighting, whack. I will tell you.
Normally we have the
all the
blinds
curtains,
down.
blinds closed.
So it's like nice and dark, so the lighting takes full effect.
Have to be open
today.
It is so warm.
We are both sweating.
Yeah. I don't know. The poor dog. God, the dog's suffering as well. And you know it's bad when the dog starts panting.
Yeah.
Because he's
not really a panty dog.
No, he's not at all. So when he starts panting, you know.
But he went out to have to do his business in the garden.
Yeah.
And just walking out, doing his business, coming back in, just panting.
Panting, yeah.
Panting.
Well, so in our bedroom, you know what it's like when it's summer and you wake up and your bedroom's boiling hot, even though you have all the windows open, you have two fans on.
Yeah, you got both windows on,
but
fans on, doors open, everything.
When it's us two and the dog, and the room's like quite small, it gets so warm. So when I woke up this morning, I couldn't believe it.
And then you had to get ready in that room.
And then I have to get ready in the room.
You gotta dry your hair.
I had to dry my hair. It was so warm, I couldn't even dry my hair in the room. I had to leave the room and dry my hair in the hallway. Because it was so warm. I don't know what's happened to our fellow Brits. Goodness gracious me.
Rip.
How are you doing?
F's in the chat for all the Brits.
Because it went through a really hot phase, and then it went through like a week of being freezing.
And it just rained.
And it was so cold, and
it was miserable.
We obviously turned the heating off in the house in the winter.
Miserable.
I actually set up so for 3 days a week the heating would come on in the daytime because it got so cold downstairs.
You've turned that off now, though, right?
Off. Oh,
good.
No, oh, no, it's on right now.
I go feel that radiator behind you. It's just blasting heat.
So it's warm.
It wouldn't be the first time Margaret's done that.
Oh no, it wouldn't.
Margaret has left the heating on through summer before.
And you would assume it would be a thing that we could both keep an eye on, but no. Just me.
It's you. You've got the app on your phone.
I got the app on my phone.
Look,
we have a thermostat in the hall, but
yeah, and if it's on, I turn it off, and then you go, "Why's the heating on?" We've got different jobs in this house.
We do.
Yours is manning the heating.
Yeah, apparently so.
Yours is manning the heating, and mine is whinging about when it's when it's manned incorrectly.
It would appear so. So
oh my god,
it's so warm. Oh goodness
so
gracious me. Again, lighting bad. Sorry, but. You know what? It doesn't even feel... There isn't even a breeze.
No, there's no breeze. There's a problem. There's no air. I'm suffocating.
So, and you know what? Again, everywhere else is like...
God.
It's not that hot. It is. Oh, for UK,
so hot.
it is.
It's
just
so hot.
For the UK.
The problem is here, as we've said before, there's just no relief from it.
Yeah.
It's like, because we've got no AC.
Yeah.
It's just
our houses are built to be warm.
Yeah, so when it's warm, it just boils you inside.
Yeah, and heat rises, and man, when we film, we have the studio lights on. We have all the computers on.
We've got floodlights on behind us.
Yeah.
There's floodlights on, there's computers on, there's
warm.
Spotlights on.
It's so warm. And you know what? We have two, what are these called? These called fans? Tower fans.
Tower fans.
And neither of them have ever been able to go to... There's three settings.
Three settings,
Never
1, 2, and 3.
been able to go to 3. So all of the fans we have on... This one's currently set to 1. All the fans we have on go to 2.
Let's go.
So...
Do you want to blast it to 2?
Yeah. Okay, it's on 2.
It's on 2. The fan is now on the correct setting.
Yeah.
The correct... Well, not correct.
The correct setting would be
3, but it can't go to 3.
Yeah.
We should probably buy some new fans.
Yeah, box fans these fans are so expensive, though.
I know.
They're
Tower
like
fans.
£60.
The thing is, right, I think there's, like, those mini fans where they have, like, little, like, bits of water that you can put in them.
Yeah,
and they use the water to cool the air.
Cool it, yeah.
Like, we should probably get something like that.
Yeah, we probably should. Yeah. Because then I'm like, it's only for like a month. But then it's like, yeah, but this month is unbearable.
Yeah.
The thing is, I have, like, when we stream, I have like a tiny little desk fan, which honestly
that kicks out the cold air.
It really does. I would recommend anyone who's suffering with the heat. I just got, like, I don't know, just a little fan. Well, I keep threatening to buy you one, and you're like, no,
I am.
I'm gonna buy him one after this.
Yeah.
Oh, so how are you doing?
How are you?
I'm hot and bothered.
Tell me how you're doing. Give me a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah, 1 to...
What's happened in your week, what you're currently eating, and...
Yeah, what day is this? Monday?
Combine all of the recent events in your life, and then give me a number out of 10.
Oh, yeah. Could you summarize it in 3 words?
Could you summarize it in a 1 out of 10 scaling?
Yeah. I'd like to know.
And then just give me maybe like a brief synopsis of like what's happened and why it's that number. Do that down in the comments below.
Yeah, please. Oh gosh, I need to know.
I do need to know.
What have we been up to? We went to the cinema.
Yeah, we saw Longlegs.
We went to go see a movie called Longlegs.
It was fine.
So I don't want to yuck anyone's yum is my thing, but it was one of those movies where it was fine, and I did enjoy it for the most part. It's one of those ones, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, oh, I don't think I actually really liked that.
I actually enjoyed it very much. I think the problem was, it was like...
If you don't know what it is, it's like a detective movie where they find a serial killer.
And no spoilers.
No spoilers,
But it's just like, there's this new up-and-coming detective who's like... clearly got a knack or a gift.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't... I feel like it could have either done with being far longer for it to be more in depth.
I totally agree.
Even shorter, because sometimes it felt too long. It's like the moments where it was like investigaty, and I was like interested in how she found out like these things.
Way too short.
They just didn't explain why.
And then
so then they felt pointless.
And then the rest, like, well, the thing is, I honestly think, you know, when you feel like at the end of the movie they go, we should explain this, actually. And then they spend the last, like, 10, 15 minutes explaining it in a really sloppy way.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it felt like.
They just tell you it.
Yeah.
And it just leaves...
Nothing to the imagination.
It just felt... Yeah, it just felt rushed.
I genuinely think if that movie was just 40 minutes longer...
Could have been so much better.
They could have really gotten into the teeth of it. And again, I enjoyed it. I wish I had just waited for it to come... To home, because I would have definitely watched it on something like Netflix or even Prime, like paid for it.
And I said this on stream when we were talking about it, but like I think one of the problems is it's like, you know, when you don't know what the thing is that's scary in the movie, and it's far scarier,
totally,
and then they show you, and
then you're like, oh,
it's like that happened with this. Like Nicolas Cage is Longlegs, and you only see like the bottom half of his face or like one side of his face. You never like for a long time you don't really see the whole
full
face.
Picture,
and he's quite scary to look at. And then halfway through the film they just show you, and then you're like, oh, it's like I could have just never seen him, and been far more intrigued.
Yeah, and you know what? One of our friends, Courtney, she went to go watch it like a few days after we did, and she was like, "Man, I just really wanted a good, grounded in reality like detective movie."
Yeah,
and I agree.
And I think it tried to do that at times, but it didn't have enough time to do that.
And I think the bits it did it were really good.
Yeah,
and you know what? I will say the acting was great.
Very good.
Micah Monroe, the lead actress, if you've watched It Follows, she was in that as well, and she was great in that.
Yeah.
She was I thought she was great. Honestly, I thought Nick Cage was great.
Nick Cage was brilliant.
Yeah, like I think he was great.
I think
I honestly think all of the acting was great.
Yeah.
I think watch it. And if you have watched it, I want to know what you thought about it.
Tell me what you thought about it in the comments.
It has outstandingly high reviews. So I'm like, have I just missed something?
Yeah.
But I'd like to think I'm quite perceptive when it comes to...
Well, yeah, but I think it's just taste, isn't it?
It is. It is taste.
And at the end of the day, people, I think a lot of normies like when films tell them what's going on.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, very much like flat out explain this is exactly what happened.
And you know what? Sometimes I enjoy that too. Sometimes I enjoy having all of my, ooh, is it this? Is it that? I like having it confirmed.
And the thing is, it's nice when it's like you get a chunk and then you get a little bit more and then you get and then maybe it was a red herring and then it turns out it wasn't. But the problem was it just went, here's what it is.
Yeah.
I like 3/4 of the way through the movie and you were like...
I also do like having some speculation at the end.
I agree.
And do you know what movie did that great?
Go on.
Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah.
That is a horror movie that we also... I'm comparing everything to this because it's some of the horror movies we've watched recently. Like, there was...
Me, you, and Abby sat in the car at the end, didn't we? And we were like, what do you think happened?
That meant?
And all three of us had a different thing.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And, you know, Talk to Me, another movie. Like, to me, it ends quite obvious. But
I think that was quite obvious.
But then, when we mentioned it to Abby was like, no, I thought it was this. And I was like, see, I like that.
But I think that was just a good ending.
I agree.
I think
that was one of the best endings to a horror movie ever.
It wasn't scared to do the bad thing.
Yeah.
And it just did the bad thing.
Yeah.
And it was good.
Honestly, I would absolutely recommend Talk to Me. It is
so good.
It's an Australian small producer, YouTubers.
Yeah.
YouTubers directed the whole movie. When I say the acting in Longlegs was good, the acting in Talk to Me was tenfold.
Almost too good.
I will say,
points. Disturbing.
Quite
disturbing.
Gory. I
Yeah.
couldn't watch parts of it.
But unbelievably gory.
Like the themes they touch on, I think I like horror movies that touch on real life things, obviously, but things like, you know, there was heavy themes of addiction. There was heavy themes of like peer pressure and FOMO and being alone and being desperate. And there's this, where do we go when we go? And I think I love that in a movie. And I just don't I think Longlegs really suffered from that kind of existential feeling for me personally. And you know what? I've just pinpointed it. Maybe that's why I didn't like the movie.
Why?
Because it didn't have any of those existential, to me, in my opinion, deeper themes. Yeah. It had some like religious,
satanic worship.
Yeah, it had religious connotations, but like at the same time, not really.
Yeah.
Bad person do bad thing for why?
Yeah, I think it just like I think it just tried to do a few too many things. And none of them like landed fully. Yeah, it could have just like dropped one of the themes and fully focused on a few other themes, and it would have been a better.
I completely agree. Yeah,
no, but go and watch it and let us know what you think.
Yeah, I would love to know. Well, we're streaming tonight for us, and I know a few people said they were going to watch it, so I'm interested to see what people think of it.
Come join us on Twitch.
Yes, goodness gracious me. Come join us. We're streaming
every Friday, every Sunday, and every other Tuesday.
Yes, this Tuesday. So tomorrow for all of our patrons for the Moon Druid and Entity tier at the gracious kindness of our wonderful entity patrons. We are doing another campaign update stream tomorrow. So please come along for that. Yep. Again, anyone a Moon Druid and up tier get it. If you would like to support us on Patreon, that would mean so much to us. There's all sorts of perks, like the D&D campaign update and others.
D&D live streams, 10% off merch, D&D Discord.
You get your name read out at the end of the video.
Exclusive Patreon Discord channels and roles.
Yes, indeed.
But yeah, thank you very much. The link is down in the description for our Patreon. The link is also down in the description for our merch store, where you can go and pick up something like the Heavy Metal t-shirt, or the Entity t-shirt, or the Attack the Unaware t-shirt. If you are a patron, do not forget to use our monthly 10% off code.
Indeed.
Like, comment, subscribe, all the good bits.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, but I realize it's a really long tangent and I should probably leave it for next episode.
You sure?
Yeah.
Okay.
My tarot cards.
Well, we'll give you a little... Margaret got some Neopets tarot cards.
I got some Neopets tarot cards.
More about that on Sunday. And also more about that on Twitch.
Yeah, more about that on Thursday.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sunday for me and you.
Yeah.
Thursday for them.
Yeah. I got some tarot cards and they're
super
wonderful.
Cool and they're super Neopets.
And they're very kind. So I very much appreciate that. So, shall we get into topic?
I think we should.
All right.
I think we should. Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams,
click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
So, as you can see... Oh, no, you can't. Sorry. Entity, give him the rise just for a second.
Just for a second. Now read the title.
You read the title?
Okay.
Good, we're doing this month on Reddit.
And now we're going to take your eyes again.
This month on r/D&D. These are I filter them through this month and I go through top and I find things that speak to me. As always, at the end, we give a shout out to either two artists or small businesses.
Yeah.
I think it's both artists this week.
It looked like two artists.
From
what I saw.
So, shall we get into it?
Yeah.
The first
Does
one.
a bear shit in the woods?
My back sweating.
What about?
Yeah. Also them. The title of this post is, what was a D&D moment when you thought, hell yeah, this is going to be so cool, and then proceeded to fail spectacularly? Now, this first one, the actual original post had a image, so I'll put the image up on screen here.
I now this image with context makes sense.
And it's this absolutely gorgeous elf figure going, enough! You grovel. The demon does not speak common.
I imagine this was a command spell.
And then just whoosh. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, it probably was something like that. And hey, we've all had that moment where we've done this.
The amount of cool commands that fall short because the creature doesn't understand the language that you're speaking is very sad. It's very cripplingly sad.
And you know what? It's when you go through the act of role-playing it out first, and then it happens.
You say the cool thing that you're going to say, grovel at my feet, demon. And then the demon's like, oh.
And you know what? I used to do this all the time. I used to role play loads of things, and then people would be like, "Can you roll for that?" Wouldn't do it.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like, I think if you say something really, really cool and poignant, then if you've really thought it out, I feel like you should get at least advantage or something. On a persuasion check or something, because you hit the right, you hit the pain points.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, yeah, actually, you're right.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if you say something absolutely sick, almost theater, movie, it was so good it could be in the best movie of all time, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, let's go. And then you roll a 1, it's like, no, but I still said the cool thing.
Yeah, I still said the cool thing.
It still came out my mouth.
Cool yeah. So the next one is, one time I got to use hold person. I throw my hands up in the air and I yell, stop, only for him to succeed the save. So I'm just awkwardly standing there with my hands up, making a fool of myself.
Stop! As they just...
Stop!
Please stop!
Man, you know what? I have had so many times where this exact thing has happened.
Yeah.
I love hold person.
Hold person's a great spell.
I used to love it, but I never succeed with it, ever.
You succeed with a lot of other spells, just not that one.
Not that one. I don't think I've actually ever succeeded a hold person spell.
I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
I mean, it is.
well, yeah,
it
but
is
it's not.
Directly my fault.
The dice obviously don't want me to use hold person.
Yeah, maybe.
So
I think hold person's a unbelievably good spell.
Yeah.
What level is it? Second.
Yeah. 2. It is. If it gets pulled off.
Yeah, if it gets pulled off, but then because obviously when you hit somebody who is held, it's an auto crit.
Yeah, it's a really good spell. I think maybe I've succeeded once or twice.
You succeeded once because my brother succeeded.
Yes. Yeah. I think maybe I tried to use it in role play a lot.
Yeah.
I tried to use it outside of combat a lot, and it never works. And I have that moment of just stop, please,
Reggie,
stop. This next one is, I disguised myself into a hobgoblin to try and sneak into their cave. However, I forgot I didn't speak goblin, so I was just standing there like, fuck, and I had to pretend to be mute.
I'm gonna get all the information.
Yeah.
I walk in, and then they're all talking, and I'm like, methinks this may have been a mistake.
I think that is D&D 101.
Forgetting that, disguised self doesn't mean that you can understand what other creatures can say.
Yeah.
Very common. Common mistake.
Yeah. I feel like that is...
You could at least get, a lay of the land, though.
Yeah,
You'll probably get some information.
Yeah, you could go in, you could... Yeah, totally. Get numbers, see where things are.
Pretending to be mute, great idea. Yeah. You pretend you don't have a tongue.
Just going, oh, shit.
Open your mouth up and pretend you don't have a tongue.
Yeah, I think that is very much... I think everyone who has played D&D at some
has
point
made that mistake.
has done this.
Yeah, 100%.
I know we certainly
100%.
have.
100%.
The next one is doing a much anticipated Hydra fight. My Tabaxi rogue got the final blow. To add some flair, I said I slid under it and I sliced its heart out. It collapsed on top of me. My friends had to pull me out before I drowned in the swamp.
I've done this. I've done exactly this.
Yeah.
There was an elder brain in like acidic goop. Like that's what it was like. The brine that the brain was in. And Matthew was like, "How do you want to do this?" And I was like, "I leap over onto the brain and like stab my knife into it and like rip it." And then obviously it sank into the goop, and then I was in the goop, and Matthew was like, "You're in the acidic goop, but I'll say it was just flavor." And I was like, "No,
I'm in the acidic
goop. You can give me damage." And he was like, "Okay." And he was like, "You take 70 points of damage." And I was like,
yeah, I'm in the acidic goop.
I'm in the acidic goop.
I'm in the goop. Look, I'm in the acidic goop.
It was my own fault. It was my own mistake.
My friends had to pull me out before I drowned in the swamp. That's like something out of a fucking Tom and Jerry movie.
But I sit in it, it's just like I do the super cool thing where I cut out the Hydra's heart. And then the Hydra goes, Hydras are big as well.
Yeah, Hydras are fucking massive.
Hydras are massive.
Absolutely massive.
I think they're huge monstrosities.
And the fact that you were in a swamp as well.
Underneath it.
Yeah.
Drowning.
Yeah. This next one is, I was going to give my monk an epic introduction by having her punch down the door that she was locked behind.
Let's fucking go.
Natural one. Party's other monk went to do the same thing. Another natural one. Took a third, decidedly non-monk character to fully break down the door.
I can just imagine, and you hear something behind the door, and you hear, ah.
And then, ow. And then you hear, here, I'll do it.
Owie, owie.
And then the wizard just opens the door.
It's like, I feel like in that moment we could have just allowed the monk to break down the door. I feel like the first monk introducing their new character definitely should have got a free break down the door for dramatic effect.
And I just love that the other monk was like, step aside. The real monk's here now. Oh, and again, I used to do this with my barbarian beloved all the time.
Yeah.
There was so many times, because the only thing that I was worth for outside of combat was opening things.
Was breaking things.
That was the only thing.
Pushing
I was good
things,
for.
pulling things, lifting things.
Yeah. So whenever there was a door, and
like one D&D.
True.
Yeah.
When I failed a check, was absolutely devastating. Again, the wizard would come up and roll a natural 20 and be able to open the door.
Me, the warlock, would come up and roll.
God, it stank.
20, yeah.
Oh, it stank so bad.
God.
And then the last one for this, and I want to hear yours, and I want to hear yours, is the BBEG, in what I thought was a fit of desperation, tried to slap my very beefy barbarian in his dying moments. I didn't even give it a chance to miss because it was so pathetic and so funny. I intentionally let him strike me. We all laughed. He died in a pile of meat paste. It was great. Turns out, he was casting a slightly homebrewed version of Simulacrum and left a little copy of himself in my noggin, only because I allowed him to satisfy the target you can touch requirement of the spell. Started having weird dreams. He was commenting on my decisions, promising power, yada yada. Turns out he was just the servant of a much bigger, much nastier BBEG who was essentially using this unwanted brain tenant to do renovations to my brain, soul, and body in order to turn me into a perfect evil champion. Of course, barbarians are known for their intelligence.
Oh, yeah. Renowned, actually.
So I absolutely didn't accept any of his dark deals and was impervious to all of his emotional abuse and manipulation.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm totally not losing my body one limb at a time to the Archdevil.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
To be like, ha ha.
You're dying. Go on.
Stupid meat paste.
You can slap me. Go on then.
And you know what? I love how they just played into the barbarian being like, the barbarian thinks that's funny. Yeah, the barbarian, yeah, sure, the barbarian wants some power.
I was like, they're going to cast like Finger of Death or something. Like in this last moment.
How about Simulacrum?
What about I insert myself in your brain? How about I cast the spell, I insert my will upon you?
How about you're mine now?
What's mine? Oh, God.
Go on.
As a player, I think there was a fight, like we'd had this whole thing, like my patron was Orcus, I was a fiendish warlock, and we got to the last fight and I was like giving it big. Yeah. I was like, I'm going to fuck you up, Orcus. You and me, we're going to fucking town. I proceeded to not hit a single attack. Everything made its saving throw, and my friends carried me to victory. And I described myself as, this is where I should have shined the brightest, but I look like a pair of dusty old boots.
Yeah. Hey, it happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Hey, it happens.
I didn't hit a single attack. Everything I fucking threw out, everything saved. I did nothing. My friends carried me to victory.
I don't think you hit a single attack.
I was
genuinely.
Just riding on the back of it.
Yeah, but hey, it got done anyway.
It got done.
It got done anyway.
Sometimes that's just how it be.
Yeah.
What about you?
Not mine. You know exactly what I'm gonna say here.
Do I?
About Josh.
Oh God.
Hey, we've told this story.
So many times.
Because it's so funny.
It is funny.
So
not for Josh.
Not for Josh.
It's actually quite painful for Josh.
It was actually the start of like a sequence of really bad rolls for him.
Yeah.
But it was in last campaign. He was playing Igneous, a shadow sorcerer. We had just gotten 5th level spells.
Yeah.
It was a big deal. We had never used them before. We had just gotten into
like a new area, fighting some like new monsters that you've never fought before.
Yeah.
I themed them as like, if you've played Valheim, they'd basically got into the plains biome, and they were fighting the tar blobs.
The tar blobs, yeah.
Yeah, which I basically just like souped up like black pudding.
Yeah.
Basically.
And there was a lot of them, and they kept multiplying when we hit them. So Josh was like, I've got the perfect spell for this. And he was like, I can get all of them.
Every single one of them, actually.
Just watch where you're standing. Don't worry about it. We all maneuvered around so Josh could get off this new spell. He casts a 5th level Synaptic Static.
He sure did. He cast a 5th level Synaptic Static. And now, look, I don't run cannon monsters very often, but I was like, I want to run the tar blobs. I was like, black pudding is just so easy to make into them, and just like give them some like slightly more dangerous attacks and more HP and stuff like that. But I kept like the low stats that were low, I kept them low. The high stats that were high, I made them a little bit higher.
And how Synaptic Static work is, they must make an intelligence saving throw.
Correct.
We were like, these things can't be. Josh was like, these things can't be smart. And we were like, agreed, they can't be. And if they failed, they would have taken 8d6 psychic damage, which was a lot.
Yeah, and there's like lingering effects after that.
Yeah, and they become muddled, basically.
Yeah.
And they have their d6 subtracted from their rolls. And it's a huge fucking spell.
It's a fucking great spell.
Huge spell.
But
there's a part of the spell that says...
There is one caveat to the spell.
A creature with an intelligence score of 2 or lower can't be affected by this spell.
Yeah.
How much intelligence do they have, Jack?
I think they had 1. I think their intelligence was 1.
And it was when Josh was like, they need to make an intelligence saving throw. We could see all the thoughts going on in your head.
I was like, oh, this isn't going to be good. Because obviously I had like a minus fucking 5 or something to the roll. And then Josh was like, oh, just so you know, like if their intelligence is less than 2. And I was like,
yada.
Their intelligence is actually 1. And he was like, no! Every creature like auto saved. But then there was one slime that was particularly hurt, and he'd like quicken spelled the synaptic quicken spell a cantrip after that to just like try and do some damage because he'd done nothing on his turn basically apart from waste a 5th level spell. This thing had 3 hit points. He was at the point where he had like double dice cantrips,
and he missed the first one, so he used his advantage to hit it.
Yeah, he used his advantage to hit it, and and he hits it, and we're like, yay! And I'm like, go on, roll damage. He rolls 2 like d10s or whatever.
One on each dice.
One on each dice. He did 2 damage and had 3 health. I think that is 100%
the worst.
Wasted a 5th level spell. Used his advantage to hit with a cantrip. Did 2 points of damage with the cantrip to something that had 3 hit points.
It was the worst turn in D&D
history.
Ever. It was so bad. He was like,
worst turn of
he was
all
like,
time.
he used a meta magic.
Yeah.
He used a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
He used his advantage token to do 2 damage to 1 target and not even kill it. It was so
an unbelievably hurt target.
Oh God! Well. Oh, he was very sad.
And we still talk about that to this day.
Because it's so funny.
It's just
so funny.
It's just too funny.
So not mine, but I think the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
In particular. What about you? What are moments, role player combat, where you've been like, this is going to be so fucking cool? Oh my God, we're going to be speaking about this forever.
I remember one thing that happened to me.
Go on.
Was, I think I've talked about this on the podcast before. I basically gave everybody a werewolf. I gave everybody a werewolf NPC to run with.
Yeah.
They were basically just like a clan of werewolves.
Yeah.
And they were running with the party, and I gave them stat blocks and stuff like that, and they were like excited to be able to like have like basically 2 turns in combat.
Yeah.
And I ran a frost giant, and they were like surrounding the frost giant and just getting advantage on it. So I had the frost giant like run away. And then all the werewolves were sort of grouped together, and all the players were grouped together. And I was like, I'm going to aim for the werewolves. And I picked up this boulder, and I was like made this really cool like noise and really cool movement. And I was like, and you all take this much bludgeoning damage.
And we were like,
And then they were all like,
actually?
Jack, on the stat block here, it says that we're all immune to bludgeoning damage. And I was like, fuck. And those are just moments where you overlook things as a dungeon master.
Certainly. Certainly. You absolutely do.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything personal. There's definitely been
many.
flops. Definitely
there's
been
few.
flops. Yeah, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but there's definitely been flops. What's yours? I need to know.
Yeah, tell me down below.
I know you have one.
Tell me in the comments your moment where you thought you were going to be really cool and it fell flat as fuck.
All right, this next one. I think I find this funny and no one else is going to find this funny.
Okay, go on.
How do I kindly tell a player to stop chanting verbal components?
Stop chanting verbal components.
There's so much more to it.
Oh my God. Go on. Please continue.
It's inherently not funny.
It sounds funny. I don't know why.
Okay, I will keep this short.
I think it's the kindly. How do I kindly tell them?
One of my players is playing a life domain cleric. Everything is fine, but there is one singular issue. He always chants the verbal components of his spells in Latin.
In Latin, let's fucking go.
Again, there would be no issue if he didn't make it so long. I'm talking 4 to 5 sentences of Latin long.
Let's go. Bro's getting deep in the role play.
I already told him to make it shorter, and he currently does it at 2 sentences, but he does it every single time for even cantrips and level 1 spells.
Yeah?
And it's starting to get a bit hard.
It's starting to get a bit hard.
I really don't mind him chanting. I do it too with NPCs. But it's short and quick, something that won't take more than 1 or 2 seconds. For high-level spells or boss ultimate moves, I do longer ones because it's immersive for everyone and not just me. So I'm looking for a way to not sound mean or a moron or hypocritical and stop him from getting called Yapping domain cleric.
Yapping domain. No, that's evil.
Well,
Whoever said that.
That is evil.
Oh man, that's
and
funny.
again, inherently not funny, but
Quite funny. Quite funny.
You know what? Committing to the bit of the Latin and the 4 to 5 sentences of Latin.
4 to 5 sentences of Latin.
Man,
now it's 2 sentences. How do you? What are you saying? Like, are you like describing the spell, or are you just like maybe giving like a verse from your version of the Bible or something like that?
And you know what? I actually love the idea of doing like somatic components, right? Because like in Baldur's Gate, they have all the somatic components, and it's really cool, and they flavor them so differently, right? But yeah, I just
4 to 5 sentences is crazy.
Like, you know what? I was going to read you 4 to 5 sentences of Latin. It's too long. I can't do that.
Go on, give us a taste.
Lorem ipsum dolor citamet consecuto dipsingilit vivamus topis una maximus idulem corpavel fausibus sagittus erat facelus vulpe duerat vitae lobitus massa tinsintunt qui.
Was that 4 or 5 sentences?
That was 4 sentences of Latin.
Every single spell, by the way.
And
cantrips as well.
I appreciate the commitment to the bit.
Do you want to know what? Love the commitment to the bit. Is it maybe a tad long? Yeah. Is it maybe a little much?
And
potentially.
I don't know why I hear the word chanting verbal components.
And I feel something like... Get the bell out. Full uniforms on.
I really don't have any advice for OP, to be honest.
The chainmail's on.
Got
the flail out.
Just give me a little chuckle.
I love that.
You know, again, I enjoy the commitment to the bit. I love the idea of actually doing a verbal component.
Yeah.
Because, listen, with spells, that is something that people, a lot of, at least, you know, from my experience at our table, we don't do that at all.
I think that thinking of verbal somatic material components can really like amp up your roleplay when casting spells, and sort of like the hand movements that you do that like convey what the spell is about to do, and maybe a few words that you say or something like that is really cool. 4 to 5 sentences in Latin
is too much.
Chanted in Latin
is too much. And the thing is, I wonder, do they have like their own, like for each spell?
It sounds like it.
Their own bit in Latin.
Sounds like it.
To which my follow-up questions would be, is this person fluent in Latin? In which case, that is a skill in 2024.
Yeah.
Or have they gone on to like, you know, like a generator?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's mean to call them the yapping domain cleric, though. That's a bit mean.
That is a little bit mean.
that feels a bit mean-spirited.
Kind of love it. Every single spell, I don't know. I do think it would maybe get a little old.
Yeah.
But I do love it. I must say, I think that's cool. Yeah. And you know, really amping up the roleplay for casting spells. Yeah. I admire it.
Yeah.
Totally. I admire it, I must say.
And if I was genuinely giving some advice to OP, if I would say I would just tell the player, like, as simply as you can, hey, everyone has to take a turn in combat. Like, thank you very much for going down to 2 sentences. But, like, I wonder if maybe we can, like, keep it to a maximum of, like, maybe 6 words or something like that.
Of words,
a couple
per
of
spell.
words. And, you know, because each round is 6 seconds and I want to keep the pace up. And, you know, not that I don't appreciate your chanting, because I do it too. And
You're chanting. You're chanting.
You're chanting. That would be my genuine advice.
I agree.
But keep it up. Keep up the chat. Never let your soul die. Am I right?
Never let the chanting stop.
Yeah, never let that joy leave your heart.
Yeah. Do what you enjoy.
I feel like I've laughed my eyelash off.
No, it's good.
Still
that's
on.
Fine. Totally fine.
All right, this next one. This is a long one.
Oh my god.
And it is titled, I Blew Up at a Fellow Player.
No!
We have one player in our group who straight up refuses to cooperate with our group. And today I finally blew up with them. This started a few sessions ago when they were unhappy with some rules set by the DM. What was the rule? That you can't use persuasion rolls against other players. They told our DM that it was unfair, and since their character is a bard, that it nerfed all of their bard abilities. They then told us that persuasion rolls should be treated like any other ability rolls and contested abilities. Our DM said no, because persuasion rolls isn't something you can roll the dice for, but you have to roleplay for, which I personally disagree with.
Which I disagree with, yeah. but I do agree with the fact that
you shouldn't be
doing it on the party. Yeah, I completely agree.
They were not happy with this. They argued that their other campaign allowed it. The rest of us keep trying to tell them no. We usually don't allow that at most tables. I consulted other DM friends about this, and they were just as puzzled as I am. We also said that if we based persuasion rolls on dice alone, that's basically mind control, which is not the point of persuasion in the first place. Again, I disagree with that, but...
What? Persuasion is mind control?
Yeah. And being... I disagree with that.
It's like, you can still just... Like, even if somebody rolls high, some people just can't be persuaded.
Yeah.
Like, they're too fucking steadfast in their beliefs on a certain thing that... It's like, just because you roll a natural 20 on telling me there isn't a god and my character believes in a god, my character then doesn't suddenly just go, there's no god.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works.
I do agree about not doing it into party.
Agreed.
They would not listen to any of us. In fact, they told us that they were all ganging up on them and refused to talk about it. They just completely shut down all attempts to discuss it. So then our DM tried to find a solution and compromised. The rule is that if you want to roll persuasion rolls against other players, you have to ask said player whose rolls it is against to see if it's okay with them first. That's a fair ruling. They were not happy with it. Our DM asked them if this was okay, and if they needed to talk about it more, they could talk to them privately. They said they don't want to discuss it, they aren't happy with the new ruling, but they're gonna go on anyway. We decided that things are all fine for now, so let's move on. Then today happened.
Great.
The party is discussing our next course of actions.
You okay, babe?
Yeah.
Good.
We look at our quest board. The party is trying to decide on which one to take up. 3 out of 5 agreed to do the escort mission. The bard decided that the one mission that they did not want to do was this one. We asked why, and they just said, I don't want to. And they said, I want to do the missing person mission instead. Another player, our rogue, chimed in and said that we could do the escort mission first and then go do the missing mission since it's on the way there. The bard said, I just want to do the missing person mission. So then our rogue said, we are going to do it, but we have to do this one first since it's on the way to that area anyway. The bard said, no, because I don't want to do this mission. I just want to do the missing person one.
Jesus Christ.
And then the rogue once again said, it's just after this one. To which the bard said, it's going to be boring and I don't like boring.
Rude.
The DM then tried to entice them to do the escort mission, saying, hey, this person knows something about a particular type of dragon and your character loves dragons. It would be good for you to get more lore on dragons. The bard said they still don't want to because it's going to be boring and I hate boring. I just don't want to do this stupid mission and I don't want to go.
Again, very rude.
At that point, I just snapped. So I told them the bard doesn't have to go. They don't want to work as a team with us, so they don't have to go. I would like to remind you out of character that this is a team game and we have to work together. If you don't want to work as a team, then don't. I then told the table I'm not in the right headspace to play and I need to calm down. I apologized to the table individually, apart from the bard, of course. I, like the rest of the group, want to continue with them as a team. I'm tired of everyone else trying to meet them halfway when they don't make any effort to be a team player.
And they don't deserve it. They don't deserve to be met halfway at this point.
Why play if you want to play against everyone else?
Exactly.
Why play a support class when you have no support to give? There is no hope for this player. I do feel like an arsehole for just abruptly leaving the game today. But if I didn't, I think I would have probably said something really mean.
That's very, very big of you, I think.
I agree.
To do that, because like there's just days where you don't want to wake up.
Let's go.
A little biscuit.
Yeah.
And do you want to know what? There's sometimes we get like advices like this as well, and people say to us like, "Hey, what do you want us? What should I do in this situation?" And then they go on to describe like horrible things that people have done to them, and it's just like some people are just pieces of shit.
Yeah, some people just assholes.
Some people are just assholes. Like this person, no reason. they're saying that the fucking quest's going to be boring and they don't like boring, so they're not going to do it. They want to persuade the party. And, like, look, the DM's reasoning for not being able to persuade the party, not good.
Yeah.
Like, both of the reasons, but I still completely agree.
Yeah.
Like, because what are you trying to persuade them to do? What are you trying to do that they need to be persuaded? Can we not just, like, talk? The thing is, if you'd had good relationships with these people, they might want to do these things for you anyway.
Yeah,
But the problem is, you don't, because you're a fucking nightmare.
Yeah. there's also edits to this, but I think the most relevant one is the bard they told us the bard doesn't feel any attachment to anyone, not even to his parents. So if he's unhappy, he might just leave you anyway. They have literally told us this before. Then leave.
Then fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want us to do? Fucking grovel for you to stay?
Yeah.
You're a fucking nightmare.
Yeah.
What are we gonna? The thing is, when you're so unlikable as a character, then you're like, oh, they might just peace out and leave. It's just like, well, none of us are going to stop you.
Yeah,
we have literally no reason to want to stop you.
Yeah, and you know what? I can't help but wonder how old everyone is in this group.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I'm reading the bit where the DM has to be like, this person knows something about dragons, I can't help but wonder how old all these people are.
Yeah, maybe, but at the same time, the DM might just honestly be trying to find any reason at this point to get you to come along.
Yeah, and you know what? I think this situation is born of, like...
the bard being a nightmare.
The bard being a fucking nightmare, but also, you know, it's not on the DM to try and make this player care.
This is it. It's like what we always say. Like, you need to find a reason to adventure.
Totally.
You, not your dungeon master.
Not your DM.
Your dungeon master will write stories for you to go along and explore and adventure, because that's the whole point of playing D&D.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you need to find a reason why you aren't turning around and going home, because it ain't going to be pretty.
No.
You're going to potentially die along the way.
And honestly, no one's going to stop you. And I think that's the most frustrating thing.
Especially if you're a nightmare.
Especially if you're a nightmare. And again, I think there's two reasons to why this could happen. The player playing, going, I just don't want to do this, maybe doesn't realize how much of a collaborative game it is. But also, how many times do you show up to the game before you understand what's going on here? How many times does it take someone to talk to you and be like, hey, we need to work as a team together, for you to be like, okay, this isn't a single player game like I'm used to playing on my Xbox.
PC.
Yeah. Like, or there's just wanting to be annoying, being like a troll.
Yeah, like being a troll,
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing at the end of the day. It's just like, the bard doesn't even like their own parents, and they're going to leave, and it's just like, you need to find a reason to adventure, but at the same time, if you're a fucking horrible piece of shit person, no one's gonna want to adventure with you anyway.
No one's gonna stop you
So
leaving.
when you think you're being the edgelord and being like, the bard's gonna leave, and nobody goes, oh no, stop, please don't go. It's like...
But you know what? Also, being someone who played like this, my first character, Beloved, she was like this.
Not like that. Not as bad as that. She was
not
as bad as that. No way.
She wasn't. She didn't like have conflict with like the party or anything like that.
And she'd go along with the missions.
Yeah, but she was also very much like, I'm gonna go sit over there by myself. And you know, sometimes, and I can only speak from my experience, it wasn't because I wanted people to come over and be like, oh, come sit with us. I wanted to do it because I thought that's what I was doing. That's what my character would do.
Yeah, and
I
also,
didn't enjoy it.
You were trying to be edgy.
Yeah, I was trying to be edgy.
You were trying to be edgy.
Like, I wonder if this person hasn't either played D&D before, played a lone wolf character like this before, and is being like, well, yeah, no, my character is just going to leave. Yeah. And they don't actually expect anything from it. But at the same time, they don't realize how much their actions affect everyone. They don't realize by going, I'm going to sit over here by myself, it gives the DM a whole new thing to have to worry about. It means the DM has to pander to you by yourself. And therefore, the session's going to last so much longer, because that's exactly what happened with me.
Yeah.
Matthew would have to be like, okay, so what's Beloved doing by herself over here? And it just slowed everything
brooding
down. Yeah, literally. And that's all.
Yeah. I do just find it funny when somebody is not likable, not helpful, not anything nice or like fun towards the party, helpful in any way.
Yeah.
Then they're like, I think I'm just gonna leave, and then expects people to be like, oh no, please don't. Yeah. We'd miss you so much. See, it's like, again, you're like, you aren't gonna get that. It's like, it would be fine if you were a great person and that happened, and
if
then
any of our characters,
people turned around and were like, "No, we need you. Like, we can't do this without you." It's just like we could literally do anything without you because you add nothing.
You know what? We nearly had a situation like this just happen.
Yeah.
We nearly had a moment where there was a real high chance a character was going to part ways with us, and we would have understood, but our characters would have groveled for them to stay.
Yeah, because they've added value.
Totally, and we love each other.
And because the party wants them around because they are a good person.
Yeah, exactly.
Who has helped
and supported
and been just generally good to be around.
And you know what?
It's like that character deserves that.
Like that role play there was a great example of a character being conflicted, a character being like, I don't want to come, but I'm going to.
But I have to.
I have to.
Yeah, like something happens
I could stay here.
Yeah.
But
same thing happens with Not in campaign 2, towards the end, and everyone's just like, we'd understand.
Yeah. And we would have as well.
And we would, but Not like finds the reason to continue.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the thing is, you're trying to find the reason to not continue.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, why?
Why?
Why are you playing D&D?
If you don't want to play D&D, oh my goodness.
Just don't play.
Hey, you have free will. You can do whatever you want.
Hey,
just don't play D&D.
Just don't play D&D. Like, if you clearly don't want to play, just don't play D&D.
This situation has to be dealt with outside of game.
Yeah.
And, I think OP was really close to doing it. And you know what? OP, bigger person than me. I think I would have lost my shit a little bit.
Oh, I'd have lost my shit big time.
I think I would have lost my shit.
I have just fucking zero tolerance for behavior like this, though.
And I don't necessarily think I would have lost my shit, but I would have had the conversation,
I'd have lost my shit big time.
Unfortunately, there and then.
Yeah.
Which wouldn't have benefited anyone.
Yeah.
So, stinky.
Boring.
Yeah, stinky.
Boring.
Boring. Absolutely so stinky. So boring. Yeah, totally. OP, I hope that got resolved. That was actually posted really, really recently. So
I hope it gets resolved.
Yeah, I hope it gets resolved. Like I really do. That is so fucking frustrating.
Annoying.
I hope there has just been a huge misunderstanding here. The player hasn't realized how much their actions are impacting.
The person thought they were far more wanted than they actually were.
I honestly don't even know if it boils down to that. I really don't. Like, I wonder if it just boils down to someone trying to commit to their character bit so much and not understanding the core mechanics of why you need to get along as a group. And also, hey, being an arsehole.
Collaborative storytelling game.
Because someone can just be an arsehole. I think it's a mixture of all of them, honestly.
Big arsehole energy.
Yeah.
Big puckering arsehole.
Yeah. So this is the penultimate before we get on to the art. This is titled, Is It Bad Etiquette to Voluntarily Fail Skill Checks? Not skill, just checks. Fail checks. Is it bad etiquette to voluntarily fail checks?
No.
I am playing a halfling sorcerer, and I have been leaning into the Born Lucky vibe. He grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth, and things always seem to magically fall into place for him. As a result, he is pretty cocky and lazy. Last session, we killed a necromancer, and we were investigating her magical workshop. My character decided to put his feet up and keep watch, while really just looking at himself in the mirror. I even asked to make a performance check to look busy. The DM seemed to find it funny and was playing along. The rest of the party, the rogue, artificer, and cleric, investigated the library and seemed to be having a great time. I feel like I often take up a lot of space as the charisma guy, so it was good to be able to watch and not feel the anxiety of talking too much.
Yeah, okay.
They ended up finding this hand-sized tablet covered in strange arcane runes, and they all make arcana or religion checks, but they fail to identify what it does. The rogue comes up to me and asks if I know anything about it. I describe my character looking over it idly once before tossing it back and saying he doesn't know what it means. My character isn't the type that studied magic or the gods at all, so suggested that we take it back to the court mage who sent us here in the first place. Out of character, personally, it always slightly takes me out of the game when the sage wizard doesn't understand a magical contraption, but the 8 intelligence barbarian gets a natural 20. I can't relate, but
no, I can get that. I can get that.
Yeah,
I get it. Like it's like you when Beloved
the door thing.
The door thing. It's like you'd go over to the door and push it open, and it wouldn't open because you rolled a natural 1. But then the fucking like 6 the 6 strength wizard rolls a natural 20 and somehow like warms it up.
I wouldn't say it takes me out of the game. It just stinks.
Yeah, it's just. But I think it stinking is almost taking you out of the game in a way.
No, not for me. But maybe I know what you're saying.
Maybe not taking you out of the game, but I think there's a similar feeling. Maybe not the exact same. But a similar one. In a way.
Yeah. The rogue complained after the session that I should have just rolled in case, because that would have given the party the best chance of succeeding, and I was letting the team down. I feel like my character contributes loads, but I also enjoy playing characters with flaws. I shoulder a lot of the social interactions, and in the last combat alone, saved the party's ass with fear and counterspell. I feel like he's being a douche who is managing my character decisions, but I want outside perspective on whether I am the problem, but I don't know it. The DM told me that he has no problem, and I feel the rogue who knows nothing about my character backstory is being unreasonable.
It's tough with characters like this, because I actually think I really like characters like this. Like, personally, if played correctly and isn't taken too far, like the lucky, arrogant sort of...
Yeah.
The lucky, arrogant, like, silver spoon dude who's, like, looking at himself in the mirror and stuff like that instead of keeping watch. Like, I find that a really fun character concept, as long as it doesn't go too far, and as long as eventually... like, they do start to actually really care for the party.
Yeah.
And it's like, I only loved myself, but now I love the party. And
yeah.
Like, they are an extension of myself. I'm still arrogant, and I'm still cocky, and I'm still a piece of shit at heart, but I love them, and I will do stuff for them.
Yeah.
And if this is early on in the game, like, I think this is totally fine. And, you know, I literally had this conversation with Abby about her next character in the car. She was like, I don't want a low in this stat, but because of who I am, like, I'm going to... She literally said exactly this. I'm going to, like, willingly fail some checks.
Yeah.
Because my character just wouldn't know.
Yeah, totally.
That's exactly what this is.
Yeah, which I agree. I think the initial question of, is it bad etiquette to voluntarily fail checks? No, I don't think so at all.
I think playing your character and just being like I've completely gone against it. Like, my magic is innate. I haven't studied at all. I'm just lucky.
Totally,
like to then just see a magic tablet and be like, first of all, I don't really care.
Yeah.
And second of all, I wouldn't know anyway.
Yeah.
So, like, just taking a look at it and being like, I don't know. Like, it's fine.
Yeah. I think it is all about delivery. And I am getting the feeling that maybe the delivery was taken in a... I think maybe the delivery was bad, and I think also the reception to it was bad.
I think it's the way you play this character.
Totally. And
this is a hard character
to play. I don't know. I don't know how OP plays this character. Me, personally, hate characters like this. I do not like characters like this, but that's such a personal thing. I personally probably would have a problem with all of us are trying to... This leads on to a point, I promise. I would have a problem with all of us trying to work out an issue and then someone pretending to help. I would have a problem with that. And I realize this is because I'm the type of person where if there is a problem, I want all of us to solve it together, or at least show interest and succeed together. So to me, I'm very... not success focused, because that's not right, because I know that you can't win or lose D&D. Yeah. I'm very, if there's a problem in front of us, we're all going to work on it, and we're all going to try and solve it, and we're all going to help out. If I see someone being like, yeah, can my character pretend that they're helping? I think that would bother me. But that's because of the type of person that I am.
Okay. But they're not pretending to help. They're pretending to help.
Yeah, which...
Like, while the rest of them look.
Yeah.
Because they know. Because the thing is, they are a sorcerer, so they're probably going to be a charisma-based class.
Yes.
Not an intelligence-based class.
Yes.
And they're asking for arcana checks.
Yeah.
And this person's like, my character knows nothing about magic.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay.
I don't have a problem at all with my character doesn't know anything about that. Like, I don't have a problem with that.
Is it the pretending to watch?
I think so. I don't know why that's the bit that I'm focusing on. But like, I think, you know, for me, I'd be like, you're pretending to keep an eye out for us, and if something actually did happen, it would feel really bad to know that you're just pretending to watch, to know that you don't care.
But what if the DM was like, just roll me a perception check, and they were like, yeah, 15.
Oh, yeah.
So it's as if so I think, would your problem be if the dungeon master asked for a perception check and they were like, nah, I'm just looking in the mirror?
Yes.
That's
yes.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
You know what? I don't necessarily know why that would bother me. I don't think I can put into words why that would bother me, but I think it would. It would. I think it would. The whole, like, I don't know anything. We do that all the time.
All the time.
Again, though, I think actually there is a certain way to do it. For example, when we don't know, let's say we're looking through books, right? And Dale's like, can I look for this? And then I'm like, oh, can I help her? And you go, would Blythe know that? And I go, nah. And then I don't even bother making the check because Blythe wouldn't know.
I don't know if I agree.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
I don't know if I agree. I think the thing is, the point that I'm looking at this from is, if this is the beginning of the campaign,
very different.
I think it's different to if this was like 6 months into a campaign. If this was 6 months into a campaign and you were still like rocking the, I'm just a bit of a brat and I'm here because, you know, blah, 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 and you've not made any solid connections where you don't want to look out for the party, then that's a problem.
I agree.
But if this is sort of like, it's a new campaign and
I agree.
You're really leaning into and wanting to show the party
who you are.
Like, I care about me right now.
Totally,
and like, I'm sort of just here for the vibes.
You know what? I agree. So actually, I think there is nuance to that.
There's nuance, and also, I agree, delivery.
Yeah.
Like, if you're like being a bit funny about it and being a bit jokey and like outwardly showing to the party, like, I'm sorry, I would be looking around, but I'm too busy looking in the mirror.
Yeah,
it's like,
that's
fun. But if you're like, oh, no, I'm not going to do that. Like, and you do it with like a bit of an attitude.
Well, I don't know. I think even, I honestly think even the first one would probably still bother me.
Do you think?
Yeah, I think it would.
But just
yeah.
Like, do you think?
Yeah, and I don't.
Fair,
you know
that's
what?
fair.
I don't know why.
That wouldn't bother me at all.
I don't know why that would bother me.
Like, we've all got character flaws at the beginning.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you know what? I agree. The difference of it being beginning of the campaign to the middle, huge difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Totally. And I think actually in the beginning of the campaign, I think it would still bother me.
That's fair. It doesn't matter if it bothers you.
No.
If it bothers you, it bothers you. I don't think it would bother me.
You know what? I guess I wouldn't know until I was in that moment. But like thinking about it, I think it would bother me, and I don't know why that would.
That's okay. You don't even know why it would.
I can't verbalize why I think it would bother me.
That's fine.
But and when I say bother, I don't mean like, you know, I'd have to have a conversation with the person.
Fist fight at the table?
Yeah, we fist
fight. What
fight.
about in the street?
Yeah, we fist fight in the street.
We fist fight in the street.
Yeah.
We bare knuckle fight in the street.
I think it would be a roll my eyes moment as opposed to anything else, you know? And hey, I'll reflect on that, and maybe I'll let you know why I think that.
You don't reflect on it.
Well,
it's okay.
I think it's just interesting that something that small would bother me.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You are who you are.
Yeah, true.
Things bother you that bother you.
True.
Doesn't matter.
But to go back to the whole, like, is it bad etiquette? No.
Nah,
I don't think so. But I also think the way of... Sorry, no, you go.
No, go on.
The way of being like, they look at it and go, nah. I do think that could be received badly.
Without explanation, I agree. Yeah. Without being like, he just wouldn't know anything about this. Like, the whole point is he's not intelligent, he's charismatic.
Yeah. And I think if there was a follow-up like that, it would... I don't think there would be any of this problem,
the explanation, as to why.
Yeah.
But it's the whole Ashley Birch thing. It's like...
Yeah.
You probably all already know, but Critical Role 2 campaign spoilers now.
Yeah.
Like, Molly Mock dies.
Yeah.
Because of Ashley Birch's decision.
Yeah.
It's not the only sole factor.
No, but it's the catalyst.
Like, she just misses every attack because she's so scared. Like, Keg is so scared.
Yeah.
Facing him again.
Yeah.
Like, can I roll with disadvantage? And Matt's like, yeah, do it. And everyone at the table's like because of that explanation, like, she's so scared.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, do it. We do it to ourselves all the time.
Yeah.
And nobody holds it against her.
And I think two things can be true at the same time. She can be being true and everyone can understand it, but it still sucks.
But it's also a detriment.
It still sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And hey, I don't know how I would have handled that being so honest.
God, if your character had died as well.
Yeah. I do not know how I would have handled it.
Do you want to know what? I think it's a good thing that happened to Taliesin because he's so understanding.
Totally.
I mean, look, he was still devastated.
Devastated, obviously.
And, you know, I think the thing with Mollymock as well. There's a tangent. I think the thing with Mollymock was like he was a little bit of that actually.
Yeah.
He was quite arrogant.
Yeah.
And he was a complex being.
Yeah. Yeah.
A very complex being.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people disliked Mollymock because they never truly got to see who he.
I love Mollymock.
I love Mollymock.
Which you know, is such a 180 from what I'm saying here.
I love Mollymock because, like, yeah, but he never really intentionally did anything to.
No.
But you know, like he was. I honestly believe he was misunderstood.
Yeah, he
was
completely misunderstood. I agree.
But he was misunderstood because he didn't have time to be understood.
Yeah.
It was. Do you want to know what? And I think Taliesin took that and put all of that into Ashton. Ashton, like a few people who've watched campaign 3, who like started and stopped, Matthew and Josh were like, oh, I fucking hate Ashton. I hate Ashton. And I'm like, okay, fair enough, whatever.
That's because they just don't like Taliesin.
Yeah, I know, because it's just like Taliesin. But then as the campaign goes along, you begin to understand why he's like that.
Yeah, I like Ashton.
And I think characters like that are so much better because they need time to be understood.
Totally.
And I love that.
I agree.
And that's why I love Beauregard in campaign 2.
Yeah.
Because she was, at the beginning, she was a little bit of a nightmare sometimes.
Yeah.
But she was just misunderstood.
Yeah.
And at the end,
she was just a kid.
She's gone through so much character growth and she's like this adult woman at the end.
Yeah.
And she's just come so far and it's amazing. And the problem was Mollymock just didn't get that chance.
Totally.
That's sad.
I agree. And honestly, I really do not know how I personally would have taken it if someone at the table was like, I'm so scared I'm going to roll with disadvantage.
And your character died because of the byproduct of it. Yeah.
You know, I really don't know how I would have, I don't know. I don't know how I would have felt about that in the moment. I have to be so honest.
That's
I really
fair.
don't
That's
know. And I don't know how Taliesin.
That's because Taliesin's a beast.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Taliesin's just a fucking cool dude.
I agree. I agree.
Cool ass dude.
So all of that to say, no, I actually think failing skill checks or actually opting to not do skill checks at all is actually like
as long as there's a character
development.
As long as there's a character reason, 100%. I would know nothing about this, I'm not going to roll.
Yeah.
Or like, I'm too scared, can I roll with disadvantage?
Yeah, totally.
Or this is just too much of a big moment for me. Yeah. I would like to roll with disadvantage.
Yeah,
totally
I agree.
Get it.
I completely
totally
agree.
get it.
I agree. So this is the ultimate before we move on to
the art.
The title is I died in session 0 and I don't know what to do now. So basically we were doing a small session with our DM before starting the campaign later today. For a little context, we have been on a hiatus for a few months, and today is supposed to be our first session back with new characters. I cooked up a fun and interesting character that I was very excited to play. However, we did a small session 0 with our DM first. I did mine with one other player because his character worked for mine. We were being followed by a hooded figure, and after getting a surprise jump on her, 3 assassins, I was going to say critical role, challenge rating 8, challenge rating 8 popped out of nowhere and killed me, but just ended up letting my counterpart live. We are level 1, and I just felt like that was entirely unbalanced and frankly an unnecessary thing to do. It couldn't have been a surprise to the DM that I died. I am just at a loss because I didn't even get into our first session and I have to make a new character already. I'm considering just not returning to the game because of simply how frustrated I am with the DM's decision, but am I being unreasonable? I haven't confronted the DM yet because I was simply too angry last night to say anything level-headed, but what do I even say?
Does it confirm that they've made a new character?
No.
Did they play in that session?
They're asking, what do I do? Yeah.
No, but did they play in because it was the same day?
No, I don't think so. I honestly, I'm considering just not returning to the game. But I mean, they said I have to make a new character. I don't know. I don't know chronologically.
We're playing the session
tonight.
Yeah,
I died in the session 0.
So have they? Do you reckon they've written this middle of the day after session 0 before session 1?
I hope not.
That sounds like what this is.
But they said like I'm at a loss because I didn't even get into our first session.
No.
And I have to make a new character. I'm frustrated with the DM's decision. I haven't confronted them yet because I was too angry last night to say anything level-headed. So I I don't know. I don't know if they just...
Maybe they just didn't turn up for session 1.
Yeah,
then.
did they not go to session 1?
Maybe they just didn't go to session 1.
Did they just pull something out of their ass for session 1, but they didn't say anything at the time because they were too angry. By the way, good on you for actually waiting it out and not saying something when you're angry.
Session 0, level 1, 3 CR8 assassins. You just have no chance.
Not a single chance in hell.
Like, with... Your DM didn't want you to survive. Your DM just did not want you to live through that.
And the fact... OP just says... and they somehow just ended up letting my counterpart live.
And it's like... I would have, honestly, I think after that I'd have been like...
What happened?
I would have gone to the DM and be like, that was a joke, right? My character's still alive.
Yeah, hey, that didn't happen.
Because that's so unfair.
Like...
I would be like, my character's still alive, right?
I would have definitely been like... I would have immediately brought it up. Definitely. And I totally understand why OP didn't. But like, to me, that says that for whatever reason, the DM either didn't want you in the game.
Yeah.
Didn't like this character.
That's it.
And was too spineless to tell you that.
For some reason, wants to deter you from playing.
Yes, totally.
Or had a problem with your story, had a problem with your build.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your subclass, anything.
Yeah.
And just wanted you to
not play.
Either not play at all or bring something different.
Once again, this is like that fucking stupid werewolf story.
Yeah.
Where they concocted this huge thing to kill her character because they didn't like rogues.
But it's like, do you think, like, and then I'm like, I agree, because why wasn't anybody else in the session 0, like, thing? Like, anybody, not just your counterpart who survived, by the way.
Yeah, why
anybody else?
Anyone else?
It was just you.
Just you?
And this person, and you died and they didn't.
Like, to me...
Use your words. Just talk about it instead of doing things like this.
Honestly, to me, writing's on the wall. Couldn't be any clearer to me.
They just don't want you to play.
They just don't want you to play.
Or they don't want that character to play.
And for whatever reason, they felt like they couldn't talk to you. And man, this is the problem. People will do anything to not have conversations with people.
They will go to the ends of the earth to not talk to you.
Not be honest. And for me, it's so frustrating because now OP sat here going, well,
what do I do?
Is this normal? And OP's sat here because the DM hasn't been honest with him. Is sat here going, am I being unreasonable?
Yeah.
And there is a world. There is a world where this wasn't intentional. There is.
Oh, there is a world where you made a really horrible character or something like that. That was evil or something.
Totally. There's a world where OP is the problem.
Yeah.
But
we don't know that.
I also think the way to deal with that is just to talk to them. Not to do this.
If they're a problem player and they've written a hateful character,
yes,
or a fucking horrible I'm just gonna argue with everybody and make it really difficult. It's just then we use our words.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't do this.
Yeah. People will go to the ends of the earth to just not talk to each other. And again, oh my god, you said it best. Conversation is not confrontation.
Conversation is not confrontation.
It really isn't. Conversation can be this gentle, kind, safe space for everyone to communicate how they're feeling.
Yeah, I think your character build is a little bit too strong for this game, and I'm worried you're going to overshadow everyone.
Yeah.
And then it's just, all right, okay, it's it is a strong build, but I'll maybe try not to flex its muscles till later on in the game when everybody's sort of online and understands what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or 3 CR8 assassins against a level 1 character.
Yeah.
What do we think?
And it's hey, I took on too many players.
Yeah.
And everyone else, it was a first come, first serve.
And you were the last person. I'm really, really sorry.
Yeah. I don't know you as well. Hey, you've made me feel uncomfortable. You've made someone else feel uncomfortable.
The backstory that you've made.
Yeah. Hey, I can't get down with the backstory.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't like this class. Hey, this ability scares me. It can be all of those things.
All of those things.
And definitely not this.
3 CR assassins.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
That's what you deserve.
Come on.
That's what you deserve. And it's the first session was later that day, and it just sounds like they just didn't turn up. It's
I know.
What is the DM just they just don't care that you haven't turned up? They're happy that you haven't turned up?
And I can't help but wonder what the other player thought. And then it leads me down the path of, Did the other player know this was going to happen? Is the other player in on it? Does the other player care? Are they shocked?
Like, and then it just brings me back to, if this happened to me, honestly, I'd have been like, well, that was just the session 0. That was just a joke, right? Like, my character's still
You were
there.
just testing me.
You were just showing us how combat works. My character's not dead, right?
Yeah.
Because that would be ridiculous.
Yeah.
That would be the most unfair thing ever.
Yeah.
That's so unfair.
I agree. OP, I have no idea what the outcome of this was at all. I really hope that it was just miscommunication.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know. I hope you know what?
I think we've fallen further into miscommunication because of this.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hope that everything got smoothed out, and I do. If this was intentional, I hope you don't play with these people.
No.
Like, this DM, least.
That's a dreadful beginning.
Yeah, that is actually fucking dog shit beginning.
That's a terrible beginning.
Sorry, OP. That stinks.
That does stink.
Oh,
that really stinks.
That really stinks. Well, now, yes, it is 2 artists.
Yeah, we got some art.
Hey, it's the artists' shout-outs.
Hey. These are crazy.
These are really cool. These are really cool.
Really cool. Oh my god, look at her go.
Sorry.
Look at her typing.
I thought I lost the...
Watch her type.
The timestamp. So, this first one, it is simply titled Titanfall. And, man,
there's 2 pieces of art.
There's 2 pieces of art to this.
There's like a town view.
Yeah.
Like a skywards looking down bird's eye, like town view.
Like a map.
Yeah, like a map. And then there's like the scenic view.
Yeah, and the actual post was this scenic view. And hello, the text is, "Hello everyone, Dominic here, creator of Titanfall and a map that accompanies it. A giant was slain here long ago, so long ago that humans have settled by the crater created by its fall. Curiously, the swords have stood the test of time and haven't rusted away. Locals believe they are leaking magical energy into the ground, causing harvests to be plentiful and magical beasts to appear more frequently in the region. I hope someone uses this in their campaign."
So cool.
So cool.
Like,
oh my god.
And you can see them like still holding the sword.
Yeah.
That is still like almost pristine in comparison to the skeletal giant.
Well,
oh my god.
Here's the map version of it, and you can kind of see it like clearer what it is, and like where the settlements are, and like you can
within
see
the rib cage and stuff.
Yeah, you can see all the farmlands based off the fact that the harvests are better, and there's so much farmland around it. And you know what? Curiously, there was a place in my campaign called Titanfall.
Was there?
And it was my world had titans that roamed the earth beforehand, and it was this big giant grassy like mountain where the body of like a giant wolf had fallen. Cool. And it had been taken over by like the earth, and it was like this huge mountain that was shaped as like a giant wolf.
Sick.
Like laying on its side, and that was called Titanfall as well.
Really cool.
Lore wasn't as cool as this, I must be totally honest with you.
That's cool lore.
But the name
cool
Titanfall,
lore.
Apparently loads of comments were like, "You've brought 2 fandoms here." Something about the Titanfall fandom.
Titanfall
the game
was the game, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the game before Apex Legends.
Oh.
So the people who made Apex Legends created Titanfall.
Oh.
And there's like guns from Titanfall in Apex Legends.
Oh, I see.
It was like quick-paced combat. My brother really liked Titanfall.
And you know what? Do you know what I hate about the fucking internet?
Go on.
Listen, the idea that like a giant fell and like there's a settlement living in the bones, not an original idea. Obviously, there's loads. The amount of people who were like, "You stole this." No, the amount of people who were like, "You stole this." I saw this art 13 years ago, and the artist was like, "Wow, didn't realize I painted this 13 years ago. Oh my god!"
It's like, what do you mean? I saw this 13 years ago. You fucking idiot.
Man, people on the internet love to try and like take credit away from artists.
Yeah, just try to do anything.
Anything.
Like people on the internet have nothing better to do than just have something to say about anything. It's just like, do you want to know what? The world is a better place when you just shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Just shut up. No one cares about what you have to say.
On the bright side of it, there was actually a few people being like, "Oh my god, I didn't realize this was your work, and I've used this in my campaign."
It's first of all, brilliant work.
Gorgeous.
Second of all, who the fuck... Look. Dinosaurs roamed the earth before us, and we're all interested in dinosaurs.
Yep.
It's like, all of us love the unknowing of what came before.
Absolutely.
It's like, that's why fucking religion's so big, because apparently there's a guy who created fucking miracles and stuff like that. And it's like, I think us not knowing about historical events and stuff like that is just cool. Like,
and human go, ooh, big thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, small thing, big thing. Ooh.
Like, big thing that roamed Earth before we were around.
Ooh.
Like, we love that. That's so fucking cool. Matt Mercer did it. It's good enough for Matt Mercer. It's good enough for me.
We go, ooh, big sword. Yay.
Yay. Ooh, big sword.
Yay.
Giants.
Ooh, big skull. Ooh.
Like, we just love it. Like, so many campaigns do it because it's such a cool idea.
It is a really cool idea.
And just like, you didn't just do that. Then you were like, like its skeletal frame is just inherently so magical that it's like, it's a vibrant land around it. It's like, that's just a cool little thing.
The sword hasn't rusted.
Yeah.
So fucking cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
This is something I want to see in the next campaign. Big giant body.
Big giant body?
Big giant body.
Okay.
That's what I want to say.
I'll put that in the next campaign.
Big giant body.
I'll put big giant body in next campaign.
This art has all been done by rsquaredart. We will leave links to their Instagram and their
in the description on it.
The Reddit post below. And then the next artist. Sorry, let me write this down.
Oh my god, everybody stare at her while she writes?
No.
You were staring at her anyway, but okay.
The next artist. The title of this is Homebrew Monster, the Sniper Dryad. And credit goes to Doji-kan, aka me, and that is the name of the artist. And look at
fucking cool.
This art. This is absolutely incredible, phenomenal, beautiful art. And
like the back armor.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then, like the tree as well.
With the runes around, like, is that an eye?
I think it's an eye, yeah.
Like the runes around the eye?
Yeah.
Man.
What an absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous piece of art. Like it speaks so much what this piece of art is. There's a poem. I will try not to butcher it.
Go on then.
But I'm not good with poem cadence.
Poem?
Oh father, forgive me for asking an orchard's bow. I'd not want to yield to hunt in the field where rabbits dare to show. Rabbits not dare to show. I fucked it up already.
No, it's all good. You're doing good.
Oh father, your bones lie at rest, feeding the orchard's grove. His maiden, I heard, killed you with no word, 2 rivers beyond his trove. Author unknown. A recent painting I made of a homebrew monster for D&D. The idea came from my Patreon, where we slam a creature roll and type it into one stat block and a piece of art. And for June, it was Dryad and Sniper. The gameplay idea is the Dryad can teleport within the canopy of the bow tree and make copies of itself to snipe players within plain sight. Ooh. And if they win, you can score a bow magic weapon out of it.
Sick.
If this sounds cool, you can find the stat block here. Of course, we'll link it. Cheers, and may the dice be with you. And this is signed off by Ricardo Rivera, which is Doji-kan on Instagram.
Sick.
And I love that.
The art is just so cool.
So cool. And you know
the
what?
Poem? So cool.
Yeah, I fucked it up a little bit. I do apologize.
Poems in fantasy just go hard. Like sea shanties and poems of creatures that it's like we know nothing about them, but it's like when Matt did that like small one for the Eremad. Remember those things that I put in the campaign? Like the dogs with the void faces?
Yeah.
And it was just like beware the gaze of the Eremad or something like that.
Yeah.
Just like just adding like tiny bits of like cool lore about like nightmarish creatures or creatures that lurk in certain places.
Yeah.
It just I love shit like that.
I agree.
I love
think
like that.
You know what? I love that this came from literally just randomly putting words together. Dryad and Sniper. Fucking awesome. Man, what an incredibly cool concept.
Sick.
What absolutely beautiful art. And of course, all the links are below.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That's it.
That's the end of that. Baby. Yeah, that's your fill.
The warmest podcast ever recorded.
Yeah, good God, man.
Is this one, I would say?
Yeah, it's very, very warm.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you very much. Check out the links to our Patreon. Come join us on Twitch. Check out our merch. We've got an Etsy store.
Oh.
Got a hiccup. Our Etsy store is down below as well. Like, comment, and subscribe. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you. We've been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Monday. Bye.
Thursday. Bye. And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities.
Hoobs.
Ariel.
Tula.
Runarian.
Arkham Labs Cosplay.
Maddie.
Pepsi Woman.
Luna,
Teddysaurus,
Caspian,
Ryan the Giant 111,
J-Spot,
Ultrafail,
Dallin M,
Sleepy,
Joe Dragonlord 2,
Alistar,
Lawkeeper Society,
Ricky B,
Danny Phantom,
Catherine,
Faustskin,
Azuriel,
Panda Queen Plays,
Xylo Boy,
Lucas Iapetis,
and Luna River.
Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.